Hello world, Maura Abad here with Asset Management Visionaries Shaping Tomorrow. We have a special guest, Terrence O'Hanlon. Stay tuned. We understand that you are releasing new work at the International Maintenance Conference. Can you give us a sneak peek of what the work is and what you can share with us?
Well, it's like the Beatles, they just came out with so many songs that were hits and popular. So I hope we're the same. We've been doing a lot of work lately. We are working on the Uptime Elements Management System. That really basically is like an ISO 9001 or a 14001, but it's a management system for Uptime Elements. So we have now 6,000 users of Uptime Elements. We need to formalize the management approach to it. So we have done that. That's going to come out at IMC. And I hope you're as excited about the management system as I am. It's so boring. I'm so apologize for you for that. But can't make a management system exciting, but it is exciting to me because I think it's been a missing link, and I'm hoping that we can really get the message across about the value of a management system. There's the Uptime Elements Sustainability Passport and Domain that's coming out. We're very excited about it. Been work that you've been personally involved with, that where we're mapping not only we're mapping Uptime Elements to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which are really important. We're just also sort of going all the way down to the floor level. What can a maintenance technician do for sustainability? And we do it element by element. What can a maintenance supervisor do? What can a planner do? What can a maintenance manager do? What can operators do? So there's a lot, and it's not political. I know there are political aspects to the conversation around sustainability. It's about, do you have grandchildren? Do you have, do you care about people and humanity at all? I mean, you can see the weather sort of changing a little bit. I don't want to get into a big fight about that. I just want to say it seems like things are changing, whether they are or not, that we don't have the right to wasteful life. And that's just ridiculous. You want to waste resources, you want to waste energy, you want to cause more, waste for your space on this planet that in the time that you're here. Of course, nobody wants to do that. So, even if you don't necessarily believe anything about climate or that, or sustainability, you certainly don't want to waste. And sustainability is about not wasting. I'm all good of people using any resource that they need up to the point of need. But if they do it beyond need, that's wasteful. And I don't like that. And it shouldn't be. It's not reliable anyway. So it's not sustainable. If you break that down, it's really to endure. Would we like to endure as a people? Okay, we better not waste all the resources on this planet. We better not chop down all the trees. If you look at the countries that have done that, that's a disaster for them. So it doesn't have to do with hugging trees. It has to do with sanity and a quality of life kind of a thing. So that's the idea behind that. We've got a people and culture at work. And again, I know there's hot buttons with, DEI and diversity and things of that nature. Take that off to the side. We're not trying to solve that. We're trying to solve, and same with sustainability, by the way. I want to say we're solving sustainability in the context of reliability and asset management. Where's the connection? Where's the enhancement? Same thing with the people and culture at work. You're not going to get the most out of your people. And if the environment isn't there for them to flourish. Now, how many people that are listening to this would tell me, no, Terrence, we focus on flourishing people at our company. It's hard, because person A has certain needs, person B has certain needs, person C has certain needs, and how can you individualize but you need a space so that they can realize their individual, who they are, because that's who you hired. So I fully want, the Maura that I hired to have an environment so that I can get the full Maura. That's just logic. That doesn't have anything to do with politics. That's just pure business logic. And I think we waste a lot of time with these side conversations. Do you want to be effective or do you not want to be effective? And so to be effective, you have to have environments where humans flourish, and that's hard. You do it much better than I do. You're focused on it all the time. I focused on it when it was, I'm mission driven more than creating that flourishing environment. I just figure everybody's willing to go through whatever hardship I'm willing to go through because they're on this mission. And that's not so. There's different people that have a different appetite for the mission than I do. But if, now as I'm seeing your work, I'm realizing if I would have made the conditions maybe better for them and had conversations with them and aligned, we could have aligned. It would have taken some effort, but we could have aligned, and so maybe I would have gotten further faster over the last 25 years if I would have done so. So now we want our friends in maintenance and reliability and asset management to benefit the same way. So we're doing some work to identify sort of how to do that in the context of maintenance, reliability, asset management. So there's a domain called sustainability coming. There's a domain called people and culture at work coming. And then the fourth work that's coming out is the IoT domain. It's already out, the purple domain. Already has a passport, already has a framework. We'll have an implementation guide. So there's the IoT implementation guide. There is the people and culture at work domain and passport. There's the sustainability domain and passport. And there is the Uptime Elements Management System. 4 works that I believe are going to transform the entire world.
They're already transforming the entire world, and they will continue transforming. Definitely, we will be having a second interview with you, by all means, because we need to tell the audience how the work is going and how can they benefit from it. Tell us a little bit about your perspective. United States, 5 years from now, what do you think is the vision in asset management?
Well, we're investing in assets right now. And again, please, no political letters or emails. The fact is, I'm a taxpayer. You're probably a taxpayer if you're listening to this. And we took some of our taxes and we're building infrastructure. We're making investment into the country for the first time in a very long time. We're reshoring a lot of manufacturing. So a lot of private companies are also making investment into assets and infrastructure. We are becoming more asset intensive in this country, which I'm thrilled about. We're already, the US government is the biggest asset owner in the whole world. And now we're going to make that by 20 or 25% more than what we've already got. Now, making assets is one thing. Maintaining them for the next 25 or 50 years is a different thing. And so, I hope we have the appetite to do so. As I say, the Defense Department's always had great asset management. They've always taken care of their assets because we bought them for them. And they recognize that. They recognize that these are our assets, and they treat them as that, and they treat them with custodial respect across their entire life cycle. And they design them for that. Private industry, there's no such obligation or rules. And so, I hope that we can bring this concept not as something that you have to comply with, not as something that you have to learn. It's something that's right to do because it makes sense. We're not trying to, force anything that's not adding value on anybody. We're doing it because we think it adds value. What's value? Safety's value. What's value? Sustainability's value. What's value? Yeah, also business success or money is value. But it's not always, money and value are not always exactly the same.
Understood. And then, of course, we want to ask you a call to action to the audience that is watching. What would you tell them related the next step on asset management?
Think we instead of me. Think, am I the leader I want to be? Think, am I in action or am I in words? Think, I don't know much about asset management. What would I do if I wanted to know more about asset management? Recognize that you see things through that you already believe. So you don't see things that you don't believe. And so is it possible there are some things that you don't know about yet, that you don't know to believe in, that might provide you with a different set of glasses? You might see the world, or you might see the circumstances that you've been handed in a slightly different way. You're smart. So if you did see these things in a slightly different way, would you possibly discover an insight that allowed you to advance or address that challenge in a way that you didn't see before? I've had many revelations and many insights over the course of my life, and I hope to have many more. By having an insight, it sort of says to you, here's something you didn't know, you just discovered. I'm in my 60s, so I mean, shouldn't I have discovered everything? Should I feel bad that I'm still discovering things? No, the day I stop discovering things is the day I'd like to lay down and go away into a new domain. So I want to discover things every day. I want new insights every day. I don't want to think that I know everything. I don't want to think that everything I look at is exactly the right way to look at it. I want to find new ways to look at things. I've been dealing with some challenges for many decades. I'd like to find a way through them. And I'm not going to do that with my perspective because I've already got my perspective and I haven't found my way through. So I need your perspective. I need other people's perspectives. So I would say that's really it with asset management. Open up to thinking longer term, open up to new ways of thinking about investment versus cost. Be very clear about what part of these expenses are costs and what parts are investment. And then if it's an investment, you do have the right to know when would that investment return. Does it return in 100 years, 50 years, 1 year? I'm answering all your questions in very long ways, but if I had to shorten it, I'd say asset management is business management. So learn business. Learn to read a financial statement, learn how to budget, learn how to do depreciation, learn what interest rates mean, learn things about money, because if you Google asset management, you're not going to get ISO 55000. You Google asset management, you're not going to get Uptime elements. You will get them eventually, page 3, page 4. You would Google asset management, you're going to get JP Morgan, you're going to get investment banks. For the first 3 or 4 pages, you're going to get investment banks. So what does that tell you? Asset management is money management, or it's at least wealth management, or it's value management. So what can we learn from those industries? They're calling themselves asset management. There must be something there. There's an asset there. Do they manage that the same way we would manage physical assets, manage intellectual assets, manage intangible assets? Is your brand an asset? Is the knowledge of your people an asset? Is the business processes you use, are they an asset? Start thinking about assets maybe in a little bit different way. So I would just, again, I'll try to condense it down. Think differently than you're thinking right now. And you could say, Terrence, how do you even know what I'm thinking? I don't know what you're thinking. I know what I'm thinking, and I know I benefit sometimes when I think differently.
Thank you. That thinking out of the box. I want to tell you on behalf of the Association of Asset Management Professionals, our community, thank you for your insights. I talk to you. I'm very honored that every time I get and I learn something from you. We will invite you next time. Meanwhile, thank you for watching us. Remember to follow us with subscription with the channel on the Asset Management Visionaries on YouTube, LinkedIn. Follow us and get ready for more interviews and insights. All the best to each of you.